All right. Welcome to everyone who is going to be watching this later and who is here in the chat. I am Tatsumari, and today we are working on Maplestory, the novel Guardians, chapter 18. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the story, Guardians is the second book in the series that comes after Sacred Tears. So if you want to go check that out, the link to the written story should be in the description below. So yeah, if you want to go check it out and read ahead from where Sacred Tears is, be my guest. However, just keep in mind that what you read can and will change in the future as I work through them to make them into videos. But for now, let's get into why you are here. All right. So, it was suggested by Random Panda to kind of make the words a little bigger for you guys so you can kind of read along so you're not like really squinting to just try and see it, because I know maybe some of you are viewing on your phone, others are viewing on a computer. Probably the majority of you are on your phone. So I know that screen is very, very tiny. So, yeah. Um, I have zoomed in to the document itself. So this way, you guys can kind of actually see what's going on. We actually just got through the description of Grendel the Ancient, relaying his past about him and his friends Richie and Reef, ending up creating what was called the Forest of the Dead, which was his hometown uh, to begin with, which is a mining town. And for those who are familiar with the game of Maplestory, that is the what would be called? I think it's called the Dead Forest, or maybe even the Dead Mine, or something like that. Dead Mine maps, which is in Elnath. So, and you have a bunch of zombies running around, miner zombies, coolie zombies, I think they're even called. So, um, this for the story, this would explain that. All right, and now we are, I think, also in the next scene here where we have kind of the little stars scene break. I usually put this stars scene break only for my own purposes. Um, when I actually put them up on either AO3, I actually do post this on Archive of Our Own, despite the bad reputation. You know, more eyes seeing it, I guess, the better. But fanfiction and AO3, I actually use the scene break little option that they have in there. So this stars thing is only for my own purposes. You're not going to see that in the actual published chapter, I guess you could say. Okay, so just no, I don't like that. Right off the get go, I do not like that. I know I use it a lot, so. Uh, Alright, so from here, I believe if I remember correctly, kind of at the beginning of where Grendel was telling his past. Blah, 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 blah. I think it was Jenny, Olsen, and Jack went on a mission with a little alien guy. So this is where they went. All right, so you know what? Let me go back, and I have to find. Ah, here we go. Gatul. That was the guy's name. He is a Zeta officer of the Greys. Okay, let me get rid of that while I'm here. Okay, so it was Olson, Jack, and Jenny that went with Good Tool. Okay. Let's see. How do I describe the Boswell Fields? Because that's where they're going is in a place in the game at least. It's a place called Omega Sector, and the maps are called Boswell Fields. So they're kind of like lightly forested, but it's kind of like meadow and forest mixed together. I'm not really sure what you would call that. Lightly forested area, I guess. Speaking of which, welcome to the person in the chat. I hope your Thursday afternoon, evening is going pretty well. Lightly forested, I guess? Lightly forested meadow? No. A meadow dotted with tall trees. Overlooking what appeared to be a battlefield. Oops. Field. Metal and metal fragments littered the area next to blackened craters. What's over here? Okay, rid of that. Okay. Seems to be a battlefield. Okay. So this needs to be thinking. This place used to be quite beautiful, but but its beauty has been tainted in the war against the Matyon. Its B-A-U-T has been tainted in the war against the Matyon. let's see, betweet. Hey, there's something you can know for today. If ever you're caught on Twitter and you're in between times where you have tweeted something and you're getting ready to tweet something else, you're betweet. You're betweet something. I actually don't have a Twitter, mostly because I know it's a place where I could probably grow the channel more quickly and get more eyes on it. It's just one of those things where I don't think it's something I want. As it's kind of a I see the positives it could be for, but at the same times there are just it's a dumpster fire over there a lot of times. So I'm just kind of staying away from it for now. But if the time ever comes where you getting one and using it to help grow the channel will come, I may end up having to break down and get one, but we'll see. Okay. This place has used to be quite beautiful, but its beauty has been... Oh, I see. Okay, but the war against the Meteon has tainted its Beaut. Between craters and charred patches. Okay. That still glowed from plasma fire. Beyond the battlefield, they began to see other Greys walking and repairing the damage done to living quarters, buildings. The Greys that live here are our work rank, the Barnard. After a few years of training, they are moved to the rank of Zeta, which is my rank, who are taught to fly. The Zetas and Barnards work closely with one another, since the Zetas are the mentors to the Barnards. No, that's kind of chunky. walked for another few minutes. They passed through an area less damaged with finer living arrangements. The other greys came out of the living quarters. Other greys that came out of living quarters were dressed in what appeared to be blood-red turtleneck cloak, decorated in gold veins throughout. Okay, let's see. Further in, the battle scars lessened. Oh, we got another viewer in the chat. Welcome, welcome. I hope you're at least mildly entertained over here by what I'm doing. And I hope your Thursday afternoon, evening, or whenever time it is going well for you. No, okay, I see. And the living quarters appeared to appeared more the Sorry about that, guys. I had to check a phone call that was coming in, and I'm using a ringtone that I'm not sure would get me in trouble on YouTube or not. So, the living quarters appeared. No. With finer looking living quarters. Here, our our higher officers, the Ultra, reside. After many years of training, the Zetas are given a cloak. No. Cloak. Come on. Of gold and red. Good and red. Ha ha ha. Let's see. Red and given the rank of Ultra. with the highest of our race's rank, the Elder Duote. Okay, there we go. Okay. Alright, I see what's going on there. Okay. Does he talk with or actually talk, or is he like you? Is he how like you? No. Is he like you? And we'll be thinking at each other. Jack chuckled. No, Jack, you will be speaking with him. The humans of Omega Sector felt much more at ease when Devote learned how to speak as they do. So how is everybody's day going? I hope it's not too boring or bad or anything else in between. Master Jack. There we go. You will be speaking with him. The humans of the Omega Sector felt much more at ease. When Devote. Alright, cool. Elder Devote learn to speak as they do. Visita led them up a great pathway to an enormous ship. The metal etched with the alien's language, glowing with a glowing in a purple hue. For almost 20 minutes, the four of them walked through hundreds of corridors until they came to a massive chamber where one Gray sat meditating in front of a large orange-colored crystal. Elder, as you requested, I have brought the guardians to you. Oh. Tool knelt in the center, or knelt near the crystal and bowed his until the elder picked his head up and stood, reaching for the staff beside him. There we go. Beside him. He looked just like the other Greys. Okay. Thank you, Gatul. You may return to your duties. Okay. Gatul bowed and left the chamber as the elder walked to them slowly, using his staff as a cane to assist in walking. It is a great pleasure to meet you, Guardians. But what... Oh, okay, I see. But from what I understand, there are 6 of you. Where are the other 3? Jenny lowered her head, speaking in a low voice. The other 3 are... having some personal issues. She answered. Her gaze falling to the floor. Oh, that is a shame. You'll just have to remember this and tell them later. Walk with me. Remember this for later. Walk with me. Slowly, the chief led them into a peaceful chamber with a small table set with 4 cups of a steaming liquid. This is what you humans call tea, but on my planet it's called Geruk. As you are probably aware, the Greys are not from Ossyria. We came to this planet. We came to this planet 5 years before the Black Mage rose again. Before the resurrection of the Black Mage. There we go. Back to the... It was a peaceful time. It was a peaceful place. At first, the humans here... The humans of... At first, the humans of this place... Palace. P-L-A-C-E. Okay. And we had come to take over. Okay. At first, the humans of this place thought we had come to take over Ossyria. That couldn't have been further from the truth, which the humans here, such as Dr. Kim, came to such as the Dr. Kim came to accept. We were... We, in all actuality... We, in all actuality, were fleeing our planet from two great threats in the universe. The Matyon and the Viztors. Okay, so a little context here for both of you who are watching later, and for those of you guys that are here. The Viztors that I am mentioning here, they are actually in reference to an event that happened many years ago. I'm not sure if it was an event or maybe it was a side content that just kind of got cut out after a while. I can't remember for sure. But they were called the Visitors. I'm pretty sure that's what it was called. And really, it was just a race of alien creatures that have different set of armors on. Kind of like, for those of you who know, if you go to the section of the map in Lifre, towards the bottom, there is a section called for Critias. In that map, there are five sets of main monsters. Really, I think there are swords, there are hammers, there are like daggers, bows, and then there's like mages' staves. The visitors were also kind of that deal where they had different um, different armor types for the different classes of aliens, so to speak. There was a warrior class, there was a mage class, there was a pirate class, there was an archer class, and I think there was also a thief style class. And each one had like a slightly different set of armor. But at the time, that was like the most powerful set of armor you could get at the time, and I think it was even growing armor, where it was kind of like the timeless set of armor that you can get, you can make, where it has like growth expansion EXP, where every time it grows, it gets like a certain stat boost or something like that. It's been a long time since I've had those, so I can't remember exactly how they work. But you got this different armor, you can get a weapon, and it was actually pretty good stuff. And the whole storyline for that is it was just like an alien invasion that came down. I think there are some of those creatures or the monsters that are still running around in Maplestory. They might be part of the Ilium. I think they're part of the Ilium quest line, the story quest line at least. So yeah, they do exist in some capacity, but not like full blown content out there. So, anyways, this thing that I'm making reference to, the visitors have become the Viztors in the story. Okay. Duote explained. His teacup. No, let's see. Ah, I see. His teacup rising from the table and tipping up. Rising from the table to his hand for a sip. Rising from the table to take a sip before continuing. The Matyon are a peaceful race of explorers in reality. There we go. In reality, but that is what makes them the most dangerous race of creature. But that makes them the most dangerous race of creatures. second only to the Viztors. The Meteon descend to a planet and begin to study it. Unfortunately, they study a race by absorbing any creature into themselves, gathering what information they can from the subject, and then absorbing the body as nutrients. Once they have completely studied a race, the entirety of that planet's inhabitants is wiped out. They will have consumed, yes, that's exactly what I want to say. Consumed the entirety of a planet's inhabitants. This destructiveness is what we Greys were running from. The Meteon will not attack until they feel a threat to their survival. Duote looked down to his cup. To his cup. Okay, I see. Looked down at it. Looked at his cup. Okay, so we'll just get rid of this. Looked at his cup, swirling the liquid around for a moment. Let's get rid of this. The Viztors are a destructive race focused on one thing: conquest. They will go to a planet and kill every indigenous inhabitant, intelligent or not, and then colonize that planet in their name. The majority of them move on to the next planet. Or the majority then move on to the next planet. We received word from our military outpost. Our military outpost when we left our planet. That when we left our planet, that the Viztors came and glassed it, leaving nothing. Leaving nothing behind. Okay. How I'm imagining these Meteon, the you know what? Here, give me a second here. Let me do a thing. Yes, I know the sword is I still haven't made a new one yet, but, bear with me on that while I get other priorities out of the way. This will change, but bear with me for a moment here. Okay, let's see. Let's see. No, I don't want to do this. I want to do this. All right. So, this is what a Meteon looks like. This is your basic run-of-the-mill Meteon that would pop up in the game. This, again, they're kind of like an octopus, really, kind of deal. And they just have this little gun over here that just shoots a little sunbeam at you, and it hurts, and you're just pew, 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 ah! And you take them out in droves or something like that. Anyways, Um, that how I am kind of describing the Meteon here, I kind of imagine them like a cross between Brainiac from the Marvel universe, or no, not Marvel, DC universe, and the Flood from the Halo universe, or like a more passive version of the Flood almost, so to speak, where it's not quite as deadly, but they are, tentacly, and they get everything everything they want. That's kind of how I imagine they are. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that's exactly how they really are. That's just what I imagine them looking like, or their temperament and their appearance, I guess you could say. Even though they're kind of like purple octopi in the in the actual game there. A few years after we came here, we learned that the visitors had sent scouts in search of what scouts searching sent scouts searching for what other planets were capable of. They even had the power to jump dimensions. One of the scouts came. I believe. Come on. Oh, that's what it was. Okay. I believe one of the scouts came to your home planet of Earth. Devote took another sip of his tea before crossing his arms in his lap. Then crossing. Yeah, sure. I know exactly what I'm doing. I can words. This was to ascertain. This was to ascertain whether a planet is worthy of their time. Oh. To ascertain whether a planet is worthy of their time, they abduct a select few inhabitants, and study them for their battle potential. Once finished, they return them where they were found, leaving the dimension and reporting. That was a note of mine I put in there, but I think it's doing all right. So we'll see how it comes out in the end. I might come back to this again and modify it once more, because we writers are never done. We are never satisfied. Returning them where they were found, then reporting back to the motherships. Olson chuckled as he shook his head in disbelief. Without harm, then reporting. What is it, Olson? What is it, Master Olson? Duarte asked. Also couldn't contain his laughter and burst out with a hard belly laugh. I'm sorry. It's just that I think one of the people you say had been... I think... No. I know of a person that may have been abducted. From our hometown. But I never imagined it it happened. No. No, we'll leave that alone. Yeah, truthful abduction. So, I'm guessing didn't attack us because we weren't worth their time? Olson asked. Oops. I always spell that wrong. I don't know. Oh, I see. Imagine it happening. There we go. Now I can do the... I know words. Words. Yep, 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 yep. Far from it. The visitors found that Osiria had ties to your world, and thus conquering Osiria was key. If they were to successfully invade. With our help and the unification of the entirety of Osiria, we were... According to their beliefs, if a world is able to defeat their assaults, they will leave it be, needlessly expending resources that are pushed back is a waste to them. with our help and the unification of the entirety of Ossyria, we defeated the visitors and prevented the attack on your world. Oh, and also, just a side note here, this line here about unifying all over Syria, it was, if I remember correctly, I believe the event was worded or even presented in such a way that all of Ossyria, or yeah, all of Maple World, was fighting back against this invasion of the visitors. So that's kind of, you know what? Let me see. Um, if I can find. I'm not going to do it on stream here, but I'll see if I can find a. There was a video that was done a few years back. It was a flash video, um, done in the, like, kind of like the Maplestory style, that basically featured this entire event here. I mean, it was very silly, and it was not as. I mean, yes, Maplestory is silly and not very serious, anyways. At least it's presented as such, but the event was a little less. In that animation, was a little less. Uh, Serious, for lack of better words, I guess. So I'll see if I can find it, and I'll put the link in the description of this stream. Okay, so all right. The only thing that remains of their assault is something that we all refer to simply as the cube. Our best scientists, and the humans' best are working together to determine what exactly this cube is capable of. So far, the only viable option we have found is using the cube as a power source for all of Ossyria. To it simply as the cube. Currently, we are working on running power lines to the rest of Ossyria and should have the whole system operational by the end of the year. Jack nodded as he took a sip of the tea. It tasted like lemon bubblegum. We all refer to simply as the cube. Okay. Hearing your history is interesting. That can't be the only reason you called us here. Olson said, raising one of his eyebrows. The chief nodded as his face lost all expression, speaking gravely. The Meteon have come here. Some have been here since the beginning of Osiria, hiding among the creatures of this place. Creatures as air-breathing octopi and in the form of a toy within ludibrium called Blocktopus. They communicate telepathically. And with their encounter of the visitors, and have sent scouts to survey and determine whether or not this place is safe enough to explore. All right. A year before the rise of the Black Mage. A year before the rise, the resurrection of the Black Mage, the Mateons came here in a small vessel containing no more than 1,000. Each are heavily armed, carrying solar energy pistols. But that is not the most frightening thing. With them, they brought a powerful machine we've dubbed the MT-09 to stop this frightening machine. To stop this fearsome machine. We built our own mechanical warrior to stop it, codenamed Zeno. At first, we sent Zeno as a spy to watch what they were doing. We discovered that during the Mateon's exploratory missions, they found a viable power source for their machine, since the MT-09 required massive amounts of fuel. What Zeno managed to see was that this substance was of a green crystalline nature. Object. Okay. Zeno managed to see that this substance was of a green that this fuel source was A green crystalline object. It gave off readings. And let's see. It gave off energy readings that maxed out even our most advanced sensors. Under orders, Xeno tried to destroy the MT-09. But in the video we saw, the machine was nearly unstoppable. It was able to outmaneuver. It could outmaneuver Xeno as if it were a small child or a slippery eel, despite being nearly the same size. Xeno was swiftly defeated, and only managed to come back in pieces. The Mations, I fear, will begin their assault on Osiria soon, with the MT-09 as their flagship, if we don't stop them. Because of this crystalline fuel, I thought it best to call you. Devote explained, looking eagerly at each of their faces, and then absently watching as Alden lapped at some of Jenny's tea. Is there some way that we can see the footage that Xeno caught of this crystalline substance? Is there some way we can see? Hey there, Link. Thanks for coming. I hope you are going to be at least mildly entertained by this riveting thing as I am editing a chapter and just kind of chatting away at the people in the chat. How is your afternoon going? Nope, I don't want that there. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Also asked. Jenny shrugged as she petted Alden. I hope not. But if that thing is the last husk, we could be in a lot more trouble than we think. Why is that, Jenny? Asked Devote. If I can see what it is, what you're talking about, then I can give you... I think I can give you a definite answer. I can give you a definite answer. Okay. The chief nodded as he held his hand over the table while a holographic image... Oh, that's a bummer, man. Have you been feeling better? I know you saw... I saw a thing the other day that says you weren't feeling too good. Oh, by the way, for everybody who is wondering, Link here, Link Favre, in the chat. He is also known as RetroStar611. He does a lot of streaming on Twitch, of which I will... Let's see here. Give me just a second. He does a lot of streaming on Twitch. So, if you want to see what he is up to a lot of the time, be sure and stop by his channel and see what he's up to. And go give him a follow, maybe even a punch in the face, and tell him I told you to do so and that I sent you. But anyways, yeah, Link, I saw that you were... The last time I saw, you weren't feeling too well. I hope you're feeling better. Oh, and by the way, he's also a good friend of mine in real life. So, there is that. Okay. Come on. There we go. chief nodded as he brought up a holographic image. There we go. That sounds better. Image. He brought up a holographic image. Holographic control board with knobs and dials, which the elder scanned through. Pulled up. Elder scanned through the footage until it showed the crystal he mentioned. Okay, well that's good to hear, and hopefully you'll feel better soon, so that you can get back to the streaming thing. I know your pals over there are probably missing you a bunch, so hopefully you'll feel better soon. If nothing else, I hope you feel better soon. And let's brought up a hologram. Jenny sadly nodded and sighed heavily after watching the small clip. That crystal appears to be the emerald crystal husk, a container for its true power. Some may have remained in the husk, allowing the MTO9 to be MTO9, allowing it some of its power still be in it, allowing so they can use it as a power source. What sort of power are you talking about? Devotee asked Devotee with keen interest. Or keenly, okay. Jenny stood with a serious look on her face. Holding out her hands, or holding out her bow, and readying to draw her hand back. Called the spine arrow. By using mana, I can create an arrow and launch it instead of using I can create an arrow instead of using an actual one. She explained, demonstrating by pulling the sinews of her bow and creating an arrow that lit up the room with a comforting blue glow. The elder nodded in understanding. And this is the same spine arrow. I can words. And this is the same spine arrow using the power into a tribal design as an arrow appeared, humming loudly and making the air thick with static. The residual power they have the residual power left in that could be left in the husk is only a tiny fraction of what I carry. Come on. Olson and Jack are the same. The elder nodded his understanding as the explanation became clear. I see. This is a much more dangerous situation than I first thought. Could you three eliminate the MT-09 without the others? Jack nodded as he cracked his neck and knuckles. That sounds like it would feel good right about now. I have no... You bet. That hunk of junk doesn't stand a chance. Besides, we've been learning how to control the crystal's power. Hunk of junk. Junk. And we face some pretty tough foes, pretty tough enemies. No, baddies. Already, Jack said, smacking his fist into his palm. Yeah, no, that really satisfying just smack where it goes, you know. I'll see if I can find a sound effect for it, but it just, especially when you have like really heavy gloves on, it just gets that really solid just thud, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna beat the ever-living daylights out of you. You bet. That hunk of junk doesn't stand a chance. Besides, we've been learning how to control the crystal's power, and we've faced some pretty tough baddies already, Jack said, smacking his fist into his palm. That may be true, but we need to go back and get our armor first. Here. After that, you can lead us to the closest point. For our armor first. Olson put a hand on his shoulder. You can lead us to the closest point. Lead us nearest to the Meteon. We'll be able to take it from there. We can. Dorsey nodded, held up his hand as an ultra walked into the room and bowed. you called elder? Ah, Kizong. I'm Kaizong. Kizong. I'm not sure how you would say that. Would it be Kizong or Kaizong? Or Kizong, even? Let me know how you would say it in the comments below. If it's Kizong, spell it like Keee or Kee dash Zong, Zong. If it was Kizong, you put, let's see, Ki, I. How would you put I? Like it's the same I that you would say in kid. Um, let's see. Oh, hold on. Okay. Um. Huh. Okay. Well, I guess okay. So if you would say it, okay. So again, leave it in the comments below. But if you would pronounce this name right here, it's a name I made up. So of course it's going to have a weird pronunciation. If you would say it Kizong, you can put down in the description Keezong or Kee dash Zong. If you would say it like Kizong, kind of like with the kid I, you can put this like Kizong, Kizong, and then put like in parentheses kid. Or if you would say Kaizong, you could put Ki or Kai dash Zong. I'm just interested in how you guys would pronounce it. Um, Also, for those of you in the chat, you are welcome to throw in your thoughts. um, Probably for those of you who are going to be watching this later is really where you're going to stick it in the comments. But yeah, I'm interested to know how you would pronounce it. So, I say Kizong, but I'm interested to know what you guys think. So, Kizong, I'm glad to see you. If you could please, if you would, no, please take the Guardians back to their quarters to retrieve their armor and then escort them to the Boswell Plains. They have accepted defeating the MT-09. We will be right behind you with a force of our strongest Ultra and Zeta once you have defeated the machine. The Elder said, as Kizong nodded and held out his hands, transporting them back to Herbtown, where they ran to change their armor, leaving with their new friend as soon as they were done. Okay, so this is all I'm going to be editing for today. I will try and do this again next Wednesday at the same time. So, yeah, be on.
Thanks everyone for coming. I hope you were at least mildly entertained by what you saw, and I hope that you'll be back next week to do it again. If you want to be notified when I go live, be sure and become a coin in the vault by hitting that subscribe button and ringing the bell. Be sure and have a look around the channel and check out Maplestory the novel Sacred Tears, Sly Cooper Rise of Vexen, or Arcane, all of which are fully voice acted with sound effects and music. Don't forget to comment and tell the voice actors just how good they did, because without them, it wouldn't be as awesome. I hope to see you guys next time. So, until then, my friends.